Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. With me is Gorilla's Random Thoughts and Admiral Teague. How you guys doing?
What, no
Doing
song
great.
today? No song today?
Well,
No,
happy William Shatner Day, everybody.
could not find it. It's somewhere in that list.
William
But,
William Shatner is 94 freaking years old.
Oh, don't forget to put the Cosby link in.
oh shit, I did forget that Cosmo link.
Is this Blackstarr that was similar to like Thundar the Barbarian from like the early 80s, or is this a different iteration?
They're relatively close. This is a filmation, sort of like He-Man, but predates He-Man by a couple of years.
So in other words, the Chinese knockoff.
Kinda. Only not Chinese.
Okay,
This guy
Japanese.
is, no, this isn't the Indian one. It's the... I forget what Blackstarr is supposed to be.
Isn't Filmation European, pan-European?
The company itself, no. The company itself, I believe, sort of bounced around.
Yeah. And hey, Jim.
They had been
Hey,
putting
Jim,
out
how
a
you
lot. Hey, Jim. They had been putting out stuff that was from France here and there a lot. And they do have what I would consider like a European style of animation to a degree.
Oh no, that,
Or at least they favor it.
The style of animation was it was a precursor to motion capture.
Yeah,
Basically, they filmed it and then just traced over it.
it kind of looks a lot of it looks like certain segments of heavy metal, especially the final segment, and a lot of it looks like the Star Wars animated series short or Star Wars holiday special short.
Let's see if I get this.
If I remember, this one actually it was either I was too young to understand it because this freaking thing's old, or it was on too late on Saturday morning for me to care. But this was like your 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock block of cartoons. It was in there somewhere. It was like, pretty much conceding that the cartoon day was over. They just threw this thing at you. If you watched it, you watched it. I did watch it. It got to be hard to find. But the one I saw was relatively interesting and pretty close to Thundar the Barbarian, but it had like a much better story. It was fairly good.
It is pretty close to Thundar. The animation is upgraded and the story is upgraded, seeing as it's not from Hanna-Barbera. But thematically wise, it is pretty close.
I think if you just change the names, you could swap stories back and forth, but the Thundar ones weren't as good. Thundar also is like, I guess, aspired to have toys or had some toys.
Limited.
Very limited.
And Blackstarr was a little bit early for the whole commercial tie-in thing.
I also think maybe it was abandonware by the time it got seen by us. Like it had its run somewhere else, and then we saw it. I don't know that it's an American cartoon. There might be a tariff on this one.
No, it's American. Actually, I think it's exclusively American.
When Hollywood sends us their animated cartoons, they're not sending their best anymore.
But let's get this episode started.
In the spirit of Saturday morning cartoons, here's a fun fact. You ready, guys? Did you know that the United States Constitution is merely 14 pages long?
Back when they can make a nice, concise document.
That's why, if you read past the part that says "We the People," in Article 1, it absolutely explains why the First Amendment, which comes later, is superseded by the body of the document.
Hey, Germ, can you turn it up?
So your freedom of speech and your carry permit are defined right there in the body of the document before you get to the amendment that says "except when." The
Thank you,
Bill of
Germ.
Rights is best read with "except when" in front of it. That's just me, though. Well, hello there, DG.
Hey, Bosco.
Hey, Basco, how's it going?
Good morning, LDG. Hey, Bosco.
Hey, Pickles. What's on today? We got Timu He-Man, also known as Blackstarr.
You definitely see the how there's a prototype for He-Man.
If I had any say in this, I would route my browser to you right now and have you watch Star Trek the Animated Series. It's William Shatner Day. I didn't have him outliving Michelle Trachtenberg on my bingo card.
Well, that's what years of
Well,
alcohol abuse does to you.
I couldn't understand you. Your voice is still a little messed up, and you've got like that Wisconsin accent. One more time.
Fucking throw that insult right on top of there. Oh, I see how it is. Call me a fucking Wisconsinite.
I'm sorry, you have that Minnesotan accent. I didn't mean to compare you to the land of Wisconsin. I know that you're from the same place as Prince, and you're the same height. Yo, this guy looks like shit.
yeah, this is definitely one of those bridge series from the very cheaply done 70s cartoons to the real high quality stuff from the 80s.
Yeah, I don't know what the when is this from? The early '80s?
81.
Yeah, this is the one I saw. I was a little kid. I thought it was okay, but wow, I didn't remember the Smurf-like creatures or anything. Like I said, this was not an easy cartoon to find on. They're beta testing Evelyn already.
Yeah.
We are almost at He-Man. We are at half He-Man here.
This was the project that Filmation used as a prototype for He-Man.
Oh, they're tuning up and going to school off their own stuff, but maybe that woman shouldn't have a man's hands, huh?
It's the early days.
And it is kind of reminiscent of that final segment of Heavy Metal.
Well, it is the same year.
I had thought Heavy Metal was like 79.
So Heavy Metal was 80.
I could be wrong. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one or the other. It's no later than 1981.
Yeah, it's 1981. So they both
That's
came
what
out
I
this year.
thought. Yeah, okay. He's got his He-Man sword, okay. They're climbing up Truckosaurus Car Wreckus. I love that. I remember that rocky escarpment from Star Trek V. What does Ukla the Mock need with the starship? Whoa! This guy's going around getting stoned left and right? Uncool.
How's that fact?
You know, if you keep blaming Doomcock for your problems, the Overlord did it. You know, these little assholes gotta go. I fucking hate them.
Yeah, they are a little munchkin-like.
They're kind of a mashup of every annoying thing. They're Smurfs, but they're red. They're trolls, but they're not. It's everything you hate. They look like villains. They look like villains more than your sympathetic buddies. You see that, though? They beat Star Trek to having a crystalline entity by like 6 years.
Yep.
You saw it here first. Imagine Gene Roddenberry watching this.
And Filmation doubled up on some of these voices here. Mara, the lead girl in this, also played the Sorcerer and Shadow Weaver for the He-Man and She-Ra universe.
Oh, I gotta imagine this is junior high school for for He-Man and She-Ra. Thundar probably. I mean, yeah. Blackstarr himself probably goes on to be like Man-at-Arms or something.
He is credited as Bo and Hordak.
I am Iron Crystal Man. Okay, this just looks like it's time to take our 11-year-old to the shrink kind of a picture, huh? No, it doesn't look fun. I'm going to retroactively now say, if you guys, I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to just, like 10-year-old Admiral Teague who liked this cartoon was a fucking idiot.
It would have been helped a lot if they had the commercial tie-ins.
I had just thought this was maybe I have it confused with a different cartoon, because I remember this guy's origin was he was from Earth, and he was it was like Planet of the Apes, but with a planet more like this.
Oh yeah, he is from Earth. John Blackstarr was an astronaut, went through a black hole and crashed on this.
This thing. Earth 2, spelled T-O-O. By the way, Germ, I see this new MGM now has a gambling app. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, they've had a gambling app for quite a while.
If you can't get to the casino, we can bring the casino to you. It's always right there in your pocket.
MGM Caesars, they actually predate the FanDuel and stuff like that.
They're now an Amazon joint, right? Amazon owns all of it, or did they spin that part
No.
off?
Oh, they There's about 4 or 5 different MGM companies in different fields.
Okay,
broke up in
Amazon
the
owns
90s.
Amazon owns their film house catalog, but I guess since they broke
Yeah.
up in the 90s, it won't be bringing any movie making people with it.
Yeah, the movie house, the casino business, the gambling, yeah, all that stuff broke up a long, long time ago.
It's hard to believe they did so poorly because through the 70s, MGM shows dominated the market. They had the one cam sitcom market locked up. Do you feel like the video game Joust may have influenced this?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess I should say the arcade game, because I think there was a home video
Yeah.
game that was much different and kind of batshit bad.
Yeah.
The arcade game was good. It was for people who sucked at video games. I played Joust all the time because I suck at video games.
God, Warner Brothers is getting real slow on blocking my videos.
Well, they still haven't claimed last night.
What?
They haven't claimed it from last night yet.
They just did.
Ah,
They're getting slow.
What show? Walton's?
Yeah.
What season are you up to?
We just did season 4, episode 14.
So you got 3, including this one to go, right? 7 seasons, I think?
9.
Wow, 9. Seasons 8 and 9 must have been really from hunger. I'm going to guess that those were TV movies.
No, the 7 were, season 7 were the start of the war.
Okay, yeah, so we have a show that's like part action show sometimes. I find it interesting that when the war starts, John Boy still finds an excuse not to have a goddamn job that does anything. I'm going to sit around and write propaganda for our side.
Well, propaganda is important.
It was important. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying the theme of the entire Walton show is if you pay attention, John Boy never does any work. We see Jim Bob busting his ass like pulling a stump out of the ground on the side of the mountain with Pa. And then on the porch, it's John Boy and Grandpa malingering. Now, Grandpa has an excuse. What the fuck is up with John Boy? James Robert did all the work, Gorilla. It's pretty good villain destruction there. Wow, he's a psychopath. He vanquishes his foe and he just smiles at their horrible deaths. There's a lot of cheap imitation Star Trek music in here. A cheap version of, or a precursor to Next Generation.
Oh, Jeremy, they did it to me again.
really?
What do they do? Block you?
Let's see. From 102.16 to 107.40. I never played something that long. Or you got 113 to 120.
I found out what happens with that one. It's if you play parts of it and then talk and then play more, if it's woven through, it can't tell. It thinks it's all the same thing. So that happened to me with the Black Sabbath stream. All songs eventually cleared, but one song is blocked in all locations. The one song I said had something weird and wrong about it. What's funny is you can play a Black Sabbath stream, and eventually that will pay off. Like it'll get released and unclaimed. But if you play an Ozzy stream, it's blocked in all locations forever. All of his songs are just completely copyrighted and like not licensable at all. Damn, this is what I remembered. His theme song is almost the Star Trek The Motion Picture theme.
Almost.
It has all the same movements. It's either influenced or ripped off, or Jerry Goldsmith just fired this off in 2 minutes.
He recycled it. Jerry Goldsmith.
I don't know if this production has Jerry Goldsmith money. Maybe that was why. I don't know. Back of the bus, buddy.
Yeah, I can understand why there's only 13 episodes of this.
It looks like shit. It looks like shit.
Yeah, it was the best they can do in 81. It had to happen to get stuff like He-Man, but yeah, it really doesn't age well.
So it was a sacrificial lamb.
Is the prototype.
I don't know if it's a sacrificial lamb. They probably had hopes this would work out. They probably thought that this was going to be the show. And then, like, He-Man is like, all right, what went wrong kind of a meeting. Germ would know better. It's your purview, buddy.
They had a few technical upgrades in between this and He-Man.
I guess what happens is they thought their tech would be in place, or they thought they could do a better job. By the time they're done, they're like, we have the kernel of an idea, but Blackstar's tarnished. We're going to move on from him.
No, this is more of the proof of concept.
That also makes sense. F this guy's friends. I hope they die.
Or at least they get enslaved and put in a tree to make cookies.
Anything. This is nightmare fuel, but not quite as bad as the Snow White movie I saw like not 36 hours ago yet. This is pretty cruel, buddy. Thanks.
You actually went and spent money on that?
I did, but then it was refunded to me because there were mice in the movie theater. But to be fair, yes, I did go there, but my channel community paid for it. They wanted the review. They wanted it.
So really, you're not the only one paid to suffer.
Hey, I didn't. Hey, my subs there. I tried to get the goal to be that I'd watch Snow White as soon as possible, but even though my one donation said do not put it towards the Snow White fund.
I was having a post mortem on like the day that like a week before the movie came out. I had a stream where I was just like, well, it's finally pretty much over, the 2-year nightmare. And like a couple of my community members were just like, no, you're going to go see this fucking movie. So I went and I took it very, very seriously. But I mean, to say, I don't want to, it's not really a flex. It was a movie ticket. But yeah, my community sent me. They're very cool and very generous to me. Only way to put it. To be fair, though, I did do my normal review and put in as much effort as I do towards like any Star Trek stuff. I went full out on the review.
That must have been very painful.
You know what? It gave me an excuse to look away from the screen when I made my notes. I had this dream last night that I was effing Rachel Ziegler. I had a handful of back hair and I was just doing her doggy style.
Thanks for that image in my head. I did not need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some serious blame breach for that.
Oh, the picture is horrible. Did you see it? She didn't deny it. She came after the people. She has more hair on her. Yeah, she has more hair on her back than me. And I'm a man. And I'm like over 40 for a little while now. Just a little bit. Are there a couple of hairs on my back? Sure. Is it like hers? No, she has like fur.
Well, her father was a Wookiee.
Her father was Polish.
As I
Or is
said,
Polish. Rachel Ziegler's father's like my age. You did a. By the way, buddy, you did a terrible effing job. Thanks a lot on behalf of our generation. Thanks for fucking dropping the ball with your bitch daughter. Anyone else notice that my generation are the worst parents by far? Generation
I've
X are
noticed
by
that.
far. Oh my god, we are by far the worst parents. By far.
Well, you raised the millennials, so yeah.
Not me. Now, I don't know how true this is, but you guys see that they're going to deport the Cubans? I'm excited.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Get them out! Get them out! You know, Jerem, I got to tell you, if they decide to come deport me, I'm ahead of the game. My family lives in the Guantanamo Bay area. Just have to get out the gate, right?
Yeah.
And Snow White got me ready for their political philosophy. That was a commie piece of shit. Now, while I realize the dragon has wings, were its feet also striding? Does it walk through the air so they don't have to reanimate it? I'll slap you so hard.
These seem to be fairly long episodes.
They're pretty long, and I like that on this different planet they have baseball because that's a baseball analogy. Resolute Germ, were you aware that in just 13 days the New York Metropolitans opened their home season here in Queens?
Just 162 games until disappointment.
Oh, you're right. you are so you are so freaking right. That's why I like the Yankees. That's right. Land ho. Ground yourself, you ho. Star Sword. It's not a lightsaber, but it is kind of like one, and it rhymes with Star Wars.
A little bit, yeah.
This is so close to the Star Trek The Next Generation theme. It's the game show version, but wow.
Oh, there is a connection to Star Trek. Producer Norm Prescott worked on both this and Star Trek the Animated Series.
Maybe he did call Jerry Bruckheimer? I mean, sorry, Jerry Goldsmith? I mean, Jerry Goldsmith's name would have been up in the credits really big because he's bigger than this show, even right now. But songs get sold under a false name all the time. Because they're deep into litigation territory. Like, you're telling me you wouldn't get like a copyright strike or a copyright match if you played that song on YouTube? If I live performed the Thundar music, it would come up as Star Trek The Next Generation or Star Trek The Motion Picture. Well, Blackstarr matters.
Yeah, that's Filmation didn't have a great track record until He-Man came along.
You know, I still, every time the tile comes up, I have to say, Cameron Diaz, not only did she age well, but I can't believe she was in high school at the same time as Snoop Dogg. He looks like he's 80.
Well, that's what several metric tons of marijuana will do to you.
It can't be
Except
that,
within-
because look at Paul McCartney. He didn't start aging till he was 70.
Willie Nelson didn't start aging until later on either, also.
That's a really good point.
Willie
yeah,
Nelson,
he's
the
still
only
alive, isn't he?
person that could get pulled over in the 90s in Texas and only walk away with the ticket after getting caught with, what was it, 6 ounces of weed?
In
Pounds.
Texas, you go to fucking prison for that.
Yeah, he walked
That
away
is
with
hard time in jail.
This is the
What
90s in Texas.
That would be super hard time in jail. Governor Ann Richards wasn't going to reverse the fact that the state was deep, deep, deep red in its sensibilities and was to lock him up and throw away the key state for everything. I mean, everything. And, you know, more power to them if that's what they want to do. But, I mean, you could have the world's worst cancer. I don't think Texas would let you even be like have a gummy. They'll still throw you in fucking jail. Lord of Time. Mark Scott Zachary? Jesus Christ. Did you see who that author is? We know people who know him. We could reach out to and talk to Mark Scott Zachary. His most famous book is The Twilight Zone Companion.
It's our Timu Smurfs.
Yep. Turned it back into a walnut. Don't know why it wants the acorn. That thing isn't going to be any real threat to be a tree for another century or so.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to wait.
What the hell movie was it where they was it a movie or is it the Orville where they have an age ray, like a super fast age ray? So they launch an acorn at something and hit it with the age ray and it turns into a fucking oak tree inside their ship?
That would be the Orville.
Yeah, that was some funny shit. I remember that one. This is about as smart and as good as most time travel stories, which is to say, it sucks.
Yeah.
You keep saying that near copyright infringing name like you own it. Oh, wait, no one can stop you. That's right.
I guess they really didn't have the budget to put expressions on any of the faces except for the hero.
Even Thundar he's stoic. He's real stoic is the only way to put it. Oops.
The wrong button.
Yeah, and wow, this weird mashup of the Star Trek themes played Price is Right style is blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's just a 800-pound bug.
Wah, wah, wah. Da, 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 da.
They weren't so overly inventive with his sidekicks.
No, we're talking like this was drawn by an art school dropout. It sucks. It's fun, but it sucks.
No, no. Little House actor Jack Lilly dies at 91.
Who died?
Jack Lilly from Little House on the Prairie.
Huh.
Is that the actor's name or is that the character's name? I don't know.
Actor's name.
Does not ring a bell. Who was he? What loser from Walnut Grove was he? The doctor?
Let's see if I find something else you might know him from.
I'm guessing he was their doctor. The best thing I could say about this is at least someone actually played a guitar to play the music. I don't know what else to say. We're going for the low-hanging fruit here, huh?
He's a stagecoach driver on Little House. At least the movies.
I guess it was the same guy every week, huh? Just went from Walnut Grove to like wherever, TV Land and back. I recently saw a picture of Melissa Gilbert.
Oh, he was the overseer in Blazing Saddles.
I think I remember that character. Also, call me crazy, but maybe the doctor from Little House on the Prairie, could he also be none other than Landrew? You're laughing because you're thinking I might be right.
Certainly looks like him.
Landrew is one of the Organians too. Like Landrew does like 3 appearances on Star Trek. I didn't realize it. Think Landrew might also be Malakon? I gotta say, this is still better than The Last Jedi, and it's not filled with soft communism like Snow White, so I like it.
Yeah, the 80s were good about keeping the communism out.
Bro, Snow White, whoa. Fucking communism.
Well, that's what you get when you hire a Marxist as your lead actress.
I don't know if she's intelligent enough to identify with any political philosophy. I will say this, the new most common non-lead character is just every single character in Snow White, not named Snow White or the Evil Queen, acts a lot like Tilly. They walk up and they have word salad explosions that don't make any freaking sense. Like Alex Kurtzman is obviously like considered some kind of great writer because he still keeps getting these gigs. It's the same thing. Like people walk up and have like a nervous fit. Like Every nervous character spits out their backstory. Every angry character yells out their backstory. Every calm character calmly relays their backstory. But everyone shows up and just states their backstory. It's terrible. I got to agree with the dwarves too. That like we're not sure she's human.
Okay, one more episode.
Wait, that wasn't our fourth one?
Hit,
No,
hit
only
those
the
like and
third.
follow buttons, kids. Hit those like and follow buttons. Share this stream out on X via the browser. We're bringing you Saturday morning cartoons. And the truth, we're not sugarcoating it like the cereal used to be sold during this show. It's not a good show. It's not terrible, but it's not very good. It could be worse, but it really could be better very easily. I give them credit for having a beginning that's the same as the rest of the show and done by the same people, but it's a little bit cooler than the show itself, isn't it?
It's definitely a selling point.
If they couldn't work a little harder on that angle where he's misfit lost from Earth, they don't touch it at all, really. In 3 episodes, he hasn't missed or talked about Earth at all.
The music's okay for the beginning, but I wish they wouldn't use it so much in the episode.
They have only like 2 songs written. Triumphant and thoughtful. There's no malevolent music that I can think of.
Red Crown Reef. That sounds like a cheap tourist restaurant. It looks like a cheap tourist restaurant.
Hey, Jerm, do you mind if I ask a slightly off-topic question?
Sure.
I'm talking to SXBH on the old X machine, and SXHBK, my pal, who I talk to all the time, but whose Twitter handle I can't say. He's wondering how Commodore Decker was able to beat up the security guard assigned to him. I'm thinking the only people on that ship stronger than Commodore Decker, if Kirk was there, yes, and Spock, but that's it because he's a starship commander. What do you think? Comparable strength to Kirk's?
Yeah, sure. He was half Kirk's age.
What, Commodore Decker? No, not Captain Decker, Commodore.
Oh yeah, Commodore Decker.
Who's like only about 5 or 8 years older than Kirk. He just looks a lot older.
Oh yeah, I think
That
he's the guy who taught Kirk how to box.
It seems like he probably had his name on every recommendation for Kirk to be promoted since the academy. You know, it seemed like he was close to him. Or had been.
Yeah. He also had that body type where if they had boxing in the future, he was in the ring.
Kirk or Decker?
Decker.
Commodore Decker. He was a featherweight, but yeah, I mean, he was wiry.
He's the one who showed Kirk how to do that double axe handle punch.
That's the same punch that he gives the security guard from the Enterprise that he knocks out. That's like the finishing move. If you watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, he's in the first 3 minutes. He's doing his patented stare and scream into like a wall of like demographic information. He's a sales guy. He's losing his fucking mind. It's great. I hate these creatures.
They are a little off-putting. They look like they should be putting fudge stripes on cookies.
Hey, it's Wax Sparrow. I have not heard of him. Does anyone else think that maybe like a third of the way into creation, all the artists got a little lazy or hadn't been paid enough and started hacking the animation a bit?
No, I think they started that way.
There's a lot of half measures going on here, bruh.
It is definitely done on the cheap.
So you think that really they somehow managed to just get some money for their proof of concept, and they're like, look, it's not going to stay this way, but like this test is going to make some money.
Yeah, it made a little bit of money. It filled what they wanted. It took up a half hour for one season worth of cartoons. Which is pretty much Filmation's stick at this point. Just put out one show, fill up a season, and move on to the next one.
Their animation style is slipping and getting worse. It was better like 5 years earlier. They are really like it. And this is like a silver age for TV animation. It's making a little bit of a comeback, and this is that bad.
Oh, they're not quite at the silver age yet. Silver Age started with He-Man in '83. This is before
it's 25 months, but it's no more than 25 months away.
Yeah, but the real important thing is when they lifted the moratorium on the advertising connection to kid shows. That's when investment went way up on the projects.
You said that like I know what it means. Could you unpack it just a little with the connections to merchandise?
I believe it was 82 or 80. I believe it was 82 when Reagan lifted the ban that allowed direct tie-ins between kid shows and product placement. That's why you see the huge toy lines going out for like Transformers and He-Man. Then the cartoons were secondary. They're just advertisements for the toy line. They set up the model for the toy industry for the next 20 years. It's actually the end of 81 that deregulated it.
I was going to say there's something going on there because remember, it becomes a cartoon, but the show's defunct. There's Star Trek merch, and the cartoon's still going on. I had Scooby-Doo related stuff.
Yeah, they could still make merch, but the connection between that and a cartoon show, they had to have a few extra degrees of separation.
Is one of those steps no advertising your cartoon toy on your cartoon?
I believe so, yes.
I'm going to be honest, that's not too nanny state for me. That's honestly, I think probably before, if you had to seek out the toy, it was probably better for you mentally. Then again, when I was a kid, Fred and Barney smoked cigarettes.
Yeah, they're I believe it was Marlboro that they sold, or Lucky
Winston.
Strike. Oh, Winston. They're the most successful Winston salesman in history.
Considering that those are not well-liked cigarettes, yes. They're still considered shitty cigarettes. They're the cigarettes you buy if you don't want people asking you for cigarettes. So, Jerem, I don't know. Bless you, girl. Can I just take a minute here to memorialize? I just heard my old boss passed away.
Go ahead.
I want to say I won't miss you, and you were a piece of shit for firing me on Christmas Eve to make a show for the other employees. It was I who called the Department of Health and cost you $100,000 in fines that you couldn't take with you to hell where you are now. You're a fucking asshole, and I hated working for you. I spit on your grave, and when I find it, I will pee on your grave. What do you think about that, Jerm?
You had kind of a nice boss. I've had bosses that I've plotted worse.
He fired me for not smoking.
For not smoking?
They had a crazy office, and it was the 90s when smoking was going away. And so you used to be able to smoke at your desk at a workplace. So then you couldn't unless everyone agreed. So they would intimidate everyone into agreeing to smoking, which I just, you check off the box. Yeah, okay, let people smoke. But they didn't want any non-smokers there at all. So they sat all of us in a circle in front of the smoking room so we would only ever get secondhand smoke blown on us. And like Jones for a cigarette. Because, God knows if you quit, like, in front of the smoking, it's like, oh, I just quit smoking. It's like, we got a new desk for you. It's in front of the smoking room. So if you smoked too much, they would fire you. If you didn't smoke at all, they would fire you. Then they had a meeting about how we could collaborate and connive together to fire all the non-smokers. So after that, when they fired me, I didn't feel very bad about it. I went home and I got on the phone with the county, and between Christmas and New Year's, wouldn't you know it, he got a $50,000 fine and had to buy $100,000 worth of smoke eating equipment. Isn't that amazing how that just happened?
Yeah, what a coincidence.
I'm sure it's not because Nassau County likes free, easy money. You know what I did, Germ? I waited a whole year and called up that boss to wish him a happy birthday and a happy Christmas and thank him for what he did. I think it may have ruined his Christmas because a few days before the smoking law went away completely, meaning all $200,000 he spent, because he had to maintain that shit, was pissed away. And he would not have been able to smoke in his office at all anyway. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's a good way to get revenge.
Well, the real revenge was, on my taking a day off and sitting in front of that office in my car, waiting for him to come out in the stoop to smoke and laughing at him. That was fun stuff, bro. It's stories like that make me wonder why idiots fuck with me. Like you're gonna hurt me.
There's something just seems wrong about calling something knowledge nuts.
It's got to come from kernels of knowledge, but it's so low effort. Zachary watched The Twilight Zone, but clearly was never going to be able to write it. This is bad. I'm waiting for the redemptive moment where I say like Little Teague wasn't a freaking little retard, but I was a little retard for liking this.
Hey, he's not a complete idiot.
Hey, I'm the moron around here, and I'll be the judge of that. Don't fucking try to outstupid me, Germ. Stay out of my lane! That one was like an odd length. It was shorter, huh?
By about 2 minutes, yeah. But
Yeah,
that's
extra
where that's over.
That was not painful, but it wasn't that great.
Yeah. Not the highest quality, but you can see the necessary steps that it fulfilled so we can actually get to something good like He-Man.
Agree. I mean, this thing's got He-Man's DNA because it's He-Man's dad.
Yeah. The Teague, what you got coming up later today?
All right. Well, right now, if you really need a dose of Admiral Teague, what you got to do is go and watch my new Yellowstone 1923 review video for episode 4. Then tonight at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time is the usual time, but this evening we will be starting earlier, perhaps as early as 8:30, for the Star Trek watch party. Is not happening tonight. It is William Shatner Day, and we will be celebrating William Shatner throughout the night, nonstop.
Sounds good.
It's going
Really,
to
what
be
you got
fucking
coming
great.
up?
As for me, I'm not sure if I'll do anything tonight, but tomorrow we should be watching Homestead. Then Tuesday we'll have the Cigar Lounge. Thursday, 2 more episodes of Firefly. Then we'll have the Waltz review on Friday.
Sounds
Good catch with Firefly. That show is always about to come back. They're talking about it right now, actually.
No, they're always talking about it.
Well, this time I'd say if they can verify who's talking about it, it's got its best chance, because now the person who wants to bring it back is actually in the best standing of anyone in TV on that show. It's the Star. The Star has a lot of cred. He was in Castle. His new show is big, and he's going to be the only good part of this Fantastic Foreskin movie.
Finnegan's been trying to get Firefly back since it went off the air.
Is it Fillion or Filligan?
Filligan, I believe.
I thought it was Fillion, but whatever. Yeah, he is a good actor. My mom had a hall pass to fuck him from my dad when he was still alive because they watched that show together. They loved Castle, and it wasn't as good as Bones, but it's the same, like one of those light detective stories.
That, and I believe he's on a new one.
Nathan
Some
Fillion
cop
has a
show.
new show. It's doing really good. It is a cop show. I think it is a cop. Once you do crime, you have a job forever. I think it is a cop show. But the deal is, Nathan Fillion is well regarded at 2 different networks, and there's only like 2.5 networks really left standing. And if he wants something, they're going to step up and give it to him. If he can get the old writer, maybe not off Me Too Island, because the guy's a raging dick. And I don't say that just because of his Me Tooing. His political views are bullshit. He thought he could meat shield himself with convenient philosophy. Joss Whedon is a male feminist, but he could write. And if he could get him off Me Too Island, where he's been sent for cheating on his wife, no really big deal. I don't know why it's no big deal for everyone else, but he did it. I guess if you become a feminist, you can't do it. If you saw his wife, you would applaud him for it. But he is on Me Too Island. He was really good at writing that show, which was shown out of order. Gorilla, you may be the the problem with that show is like episode 3 showed before the premiere.
Yeah, I'm just doing it in production order.
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell was going on with the show. You know what I mean? It's like, wait, what? Huh? Like the broadcast.
No one did.
The broadcast order was like episode 3, episode 5, episode 2, episode 1, episode 4. And then it gets sequential. They just flashbanged your brain on purpose for no reason. Someone sabotaged that show. The network is like, it's too expensive.
Canceled. It is canceled like 3 months before it hit airwaves.
No, I thought season 2 was the thing that was canceled and becomes a movie.
It became a movie like 4 years after the fact.
And some of the movie had been broadcast on TV, right?
No, it was completely original, but
Okay.
Firefly was canceled.
And Serendipity's the movie.
Yeah, it was like August that it got canceled and it premiered in September, something like that. But they had already given up on it, so they didn't care about airing it in order. And being on Fox,
That sucks.
they interrupted. It didn't get more than, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks aired in sequence. They always shoved something in like baseball or some other special event they had to have.
When they knew it wasn't coming back, they threw it into an enviable slot where it would get preempted by baseball and stuff. They're like, no one cares about this freaking show.
They pretty much did that to all their shows except for X-Files and The Simpsons. X-Files and The Simpsons would air every week, but everything else was, fuck you, we have baseball.
Those shows came on so much like after the beginning of Fox, but so did Firefly. Firefly was like ordered out of the idea that I can only assume what happened with Fox is they felt like they probably wouldn't get baseball and did anyway, so they had these shows they didn't freaking care about at all. They're like, F this, we got baseball.
Yeah, there's no telling what their logic on any of that crap was.
I think you kind of see it at work in Enterprise where there's the captain's hobby of water polo was maybe thrown in later because the UPN thought they were going to get baseball or something like that he would like. You know, he's going to be like a big Miami Heat fan or something, or Trip was, you know? Captain, we got 2 basketball teams in Florida.
Yeah, it does make sense though. The actor, you wouldn't associate baseball or basketball or anything like that.
With Scott Bakula?
Yeah, you don't think major sports star, but
he was a
you can picture
baseball
something
player.
Oddball.
He played all the major sports in Quantum Leap, but yeah. No, I mean, you know what? Scott Bakula is simply athletic looking because he's so big, height-wise. He's got such broad shoulders, and like I've been stuck seeing it every week, folks. Like shirtless, like young Bakula. I wouldn't want to fucking fight him. like strappingly huge as Archer. He's no
He's a
Brandon
relatively
Sklenar,
big
but
guy.
he was big he was a bigger than average TV star guy as far as size and believability of I will punch you down, but it didn't agree with his very peaceful acting philosophy and approach where whenever Captain Archer's upset, you really feel it because he comes from a place of default calmness that he can't recapture.
All right. Hey, Jeremy, I got to get going, though. I got to go get the mail before the window closes. So, see you.
Bye.
See you, Gorilla.
Good to see you, buddy.
We're going to be closing up here. So thanks for showing up, everybody. We'll be back next week with another great cartoon. And I'll let you know what that is by Wednesday when I'm on Dark Matter with Sci-Fi Sis Dan. Take care, everybody.
Bye.